isn't dealt with, and fast.
Ed Conway on the beach in Mexico, thank you. Let's take you now to Athens. We can talk to Miranda Zaffer, CEO of EF Consulting and a former board member for Greece at the IMF. Good afternoon. New Democracy indicating that they will try to renegotiate some of the terms of the bailout. What areas do you think there is room for manoeuvre?
I think Greece might be given more time to reach the 4.5% primary surplus that is needed in order for Greece to be able to pay for most of its interest payments without resorting to further borrowing. Originally, under the second rescue package that was agreed in March, Greece was going to reach this surplus in 2014. But with the economy falling off a cliff now and revenue collection way behind target, the fiscal program has already been derailed, and there is a question as to whether they'll be able to meet those targets on time.
Much talk in other parts of the Eurozone about finding growth now. Can you see in Greece where growth might come from?
First of all, we should make it clear, Greece did not really implement the structural measures in the program that were going to help Greece regain competitiveness. The opening up of the professions and the greater flexibility in the labor market were just legislated under the interim government of Mr. Papademos, and the question is whether they will be fully implemented. I believe that these reforms are absolutely necessary for growth to restart in Greece and for Greece to be competitive. But there might also be some new credits from the European Investment Bank and some more handouts from the European structural funds, which are actually transfer payments. They're not loans, they are grants.
OK, I mean, many people feel, and you're suggesting that ultimately Greece will need more money. Is there a possibility also that some of Greece's debts will be written off?
I mean, if Greece is to meet its targets later, if it's going to be given more time to reach the required primary surplus, then of course someone has to put more money on the table. And I'm sure European leaders would not be happy to go back to their parliaments for a third time to ask for more money for Greece. So what might happen is that they might front-load disbursements under the existing loan for a year and then reconsider the issue a year from now to see whether some debt forgiveness is needed or more money must be put on the table.
As you know, Miranda, there was a strong show for Syriza in the elections. Many people clearly indicating they don't want more austerity. They can't stomach more austerity with poverty at high levels, unemployment, particularly youth unemployment, so bad in Greece. Can the Greek people cope with this?
Unfortunately, what happened is the government gave priority to across-the-board wage and pension cuts, and also they relied too much on revenue, on tax revenue, instead of cutting spending. So now they have to come up under the second rescue package with 11 billion of spending cuts between now and 2014. So there will be a much-needed downsizing of the public sector. So far, it's the private sector that has borne the brunt of the adjustment, and 500,000 people were laid off since the beginning of the crisis in the private sector. No one has been touched in the public sector, and it's time that this happens now.
OK, that's interesting. I'm sure you've seen what the markets in Europe and around the world have done following the elections in Greece. Are you surprised that there was initially optimism, but that seems to have waned very quickly?
There was a global sigh of relief to see that the radical left did not win the election, but then the focus of attention shifted very quickly to Spain, where borrowing costs have gone above 7% for the 10-year yield, and also in Italy, that is similarly affected by contagion.
Miranda Zaffer, CEO of EF Consulting, thank you for your expertise.
Thank you.
Well, you can follow all the twists and turns of the Greek election results on Sky News for iPad. It includes explainers on each of the parties and special analysis of what would happen if Greece left the euro. It is free for Sky customers with your Sky ID. The England Lions cricketer Tom Maynard has died after being hit